What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wedding Film School Q&A 23. So Omar is asking about the DJ. No, I say DJI so much that I'm not even sure what's real. I don't know what's real these days. So the I had a speech impediment when I was younger, and it's showing right now. DJI Osmo. It's like a little handheld gimbal, and I was very close to pulling the trigger on getting one. I think it would be really cool. You know me, I like minimal, so it's just like a stick that you put the phone on to see, and then it like is stable and small, and you know, it might be cool for vlogging. It might be cool for like travel stuff, but for weddings, I don't know. I'm very more visual based. I just love the look of like a Movi or a Ronin with like an actual camera on the gimbal. And I think that's way better than an Osmo. So for people who can't afford like the $1.5 for the Ronin kit and then the extra camera for the stabilizer, you know, the Osmo would be a good replacement for that. Dominic is asking any tips for second shooters on shooting the groom. It is different than shooting the bride. You know, the guys are way more like just like chill and like hanging out and may be less into the video aspect in a whole. You know, I typically see that. So you kind of have to like get to know them a little more before you just shove a camera in their face. And for groom stuff, I typically like it to be a little dialed back, a little more minimal, so that's like less distractions. You have a little more time and space usually to like take the groom somewhere where there's good light, you know, eliminate distractions, and that's what I mean when I say minimal. Up against a wall with a window, and then you can just like use negative space and then just really pinpoint, just because, you know, you usually have more time with that. Guys usually are just like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Of course, like I always say, get one hero shot. That's where you see the face, you know who it is. With one shot, show that this is the groom and that he's like, this is his day. You know, that's the hero shot. You should have one for the bride and the groom. And then I also like to show like the groomsmen hanging out, having fun. So it's like the emotion, the confidence, the hero shot, the getting ready, building up to something, and then also contrast that with like the guys just hanging out and having fun. Hunt Epic is asking about card space for the wedding. And the last wedding that I shot with the A7S Mark II, I was surprised at how little I used. I had two 128 gigabyte cards. I was shooting in 4K, 120 megabit file size. And I didn't even fill up one card. I shot like 80 gigs. And that was with the ceremony and everything. Of course, we had other cameras, so altogether the wedding was probably way more than 80 gigabytes, but just for my one camera, 80. How long should the turnaround time be for wedding highlight edits? This is completely up to you, you know? Brides and grooms, they just don't care or know much about the industry to like have a strong opinion about this. All they really care about is that you set a deadline and then you meet that deadline. That's it. It usually doesn't matter if it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 7 weeks, you know, as long as I'd say like a year is like, don't ever consider delivering a film a year later. So if you just say, you know, 7 weeks, make sure you deliver it within 6. 7 is okay, but do it at the 6th week. But technically it doesn't really take that long to edit a highlight. Once you have your doc edit or however you edit all of your footage in front of you, it's typically 60 to 90 minutes per minute of highlight film. So like a 6-minute highlight film for me would take 6.5 times the number of minutes. You technically could finish a wedding within like a 2-day period, but because we have other stuff going on, you know, we don't just work on one wedding at a time. We space them out and then work through in waves. Could take weeks. It usually takes weeks to get these out. So Lee's asking about turning down the music during bride or groom prep and kind of feels bad about doing so. And yeah, you don't want to mess with the atmosphere. I will usually just let things play out. The chit chat during bride prep is good, but it's not crazy important, and it won't be completely ruined by music playing in the background. It's only during specific moments, a card reading, someone seeing someone, like the dad coming in to see the bride in her dress. I'm going to make sure that the music is way low or off. I'll take my time and make sure those moments are covered. But as far as just like normal hanging out, meh. Doesn't matter. I doubt it is asking about last minute schedule changes on the day of the wedding, which is a good question. As much planning as you put into before the shoot, knowing where, when, and what is going to be happening throughout the day, some things do happen. It's really important that you're on the same team as the planner or whoever is in charge of the schedule, so that if something does change, they will come to you and tell you, and it won't be the other way around, whereas this thing changes and then you're kind of just like, they did that, I wasn't there shooting. So I recommend really just befriending the planner, whoever is in charge of these plans and has the potential to change them. Get their phone number. It's quick and easy to text. If something's going to change, like the first look has been bumped up an hour or something weird, they can easily just send you a text and like ask them. If something changes and the photographer isn't there and isn't anticipating it, text them and let them know. They will love it. They'll do the same for you. Like, why wouldn't you help them out? Dave's tutorials are asking about willingness to redo things with your couples. So like, are you getting any pushback when you ask couples to redo things? So like a good example would be the first look. So first look happens. It was awesome, amazing emotion, but you were shooting by yourself and you only had one angle. You want to get some more angles, so to make it seem like there were 3 people shooting. So you got the emotion, you got the faces on the first thing. You could ask them to redo the first look and then just shoot the feet of her walking up to him, and then like cut again, have her do it again, and then do like a wide Wes Anderson perpendicular shot of her approaching. And then you could also shoot like his hands waiting and then his face. You could get all of these shots after the fact. I always say shoot the emotion first, and then you can shoot the cool looking stuff later. But the question is asking like, are couples willing to do this? It comes down to your couple, are you asking them about this type of stuff? You can get a sense if they're like, we love our video, we'll do anything to make it awesome, within the first like 5 minutes of talking to them or meeting with them on the phone before you even sign the contract. So are you booking a couple that would allow this, like be cool with it? That's completely like up to you whether you book couples like this. If you are shooting a wedding for someone who's like, no, just get what you can, and like, we're not gonna redo anything or help you with the video, that's what you get. If you book them, you're gonna get that, so there's nothing you can do. Will you marry me? Danny V Films asking how to keep my mojo up when you've got a few weeks of chaos. For most creatives, I'd say most people, we just get burned out sometimes. Life goes like this: a lot of work, less work, a lot of work, less stress, a lot of stress, less stress. And it's really important to try to make it less of a wave and not like, whoa. So Sean is asking about red flags when like getting client inquiries and whatnot. The first one that I usually run into is just like the generic, I've Googled wedding videographer in New York and your name came up, and I'm blanketing a bunch of emails to a bunch of different studios because I don't care who shoots my wedding, I just want the lowest price. So trying to avoid these people, there are people that haven't seen your work when you ask what about my work do you like? And they're like, oh, I haven't seen anything yet. I'm like, red flag. When they don't have any questions to ask when you're on the phone with them, they're just looking for the what. They don't really care about the why. So they're looking for prices, timing, what camera do you use, like stupid stuff that doesn't matter, versus why are you shooting wedding films? what makes you interested in shooting my wedding, you know, stuff like that. Like, I'm more interested in the why, less the what and the how. So yeah, Brett is asking about manual versus autofocus. He's got a 70D, but he's not sure when and how, like, you know, why he should use the autofocus. I would say for weddings, you should be shooting manual for the lens focus. I do it all the time. I will use the A7S Mark II is nice because you can just press a button if you have a compatible autofocus lens to just press a button and get autofocus to the wherever you map the location for the autofocus reticle thing. But I'm primarily 99% shooting manual. It's only really with wide angle shots or like something really quick or with the face detection, you know, sometimes that's nice to have the autofocus if they're moving to and from the camera. But typically you should be teaching yourself how to shoot on manual. You know, that's where you're going to get the precise beauty of the focus pulling. Aaron is asking about when I offload footage and like dump and back up and whatnot. And I've done all different types and I've had some mess ups before. But the safest, best way that I use right now is to just have one very large card per camera and then attempt to shoot the entire day on that single card. Some people talk about like cards corrupting within their camera. That doesn't really happen to me. And you know, there's really, I guess you could shoot on like a ton of little cards, but still you're gonna lose something. I've never had a card corrupt on me like that, unless it was on Magic Lantern, but let's not talk about that. But just with like typical cameras, I've never had a card corrupt. The only times things have messed up was because of human error, of me taking out the card, thinking I know what I'm doing. Oh, the footage is backed up, format it, you can format it. Stupid stuff like that. That's when things mess up. When I'm a stupid human being, not the camera's fault. But yes, I have 128 gigabyte cards. I have 2 of them just in case I need another one, but I typically just shoot on that one card all day. All day, all day. Why do I talk like that? I don't know who's gonna shoot my wedding. I'm definitely not gonna shoot my own wedding, that's for sure. No, no, no. Ooh, I like this question, Simon. You're asking about like what's the balance between keeping quiet to avoid ruining audio when you're rolling like bride prep or something like that, compared to like joking or talking or bantering to like make the subjects feel comfortable and whatnot. So that's a great, great, great question. I love talking about the non-visual, non-technical aspect of shooting the wedding, which is being an awesome person to these people. They're people, you're a person. You should interact and like form some kind of nice relationship and be friends with your couples and your subjects, because that's how you're gonna get better films, hands down. Nobody talks about this. That's why I'm such a huge fan of like meeting with your couple before, getting drinks, food, whatnot, becoming like knowing them as people, and then they feel comfortable, because it all comes down to trust. Once they trust you, you know, you're gonna get better footage. So one example I can talk about is like shooting bride prep. She's getting her dress on. She's got a lot going through her mind. You know, they're fixing up the back of her dress. She might just be like plain face, just like thinking. And I'll like go up to her face and she's just plain face. I want to smile, so I'll just be like, wedding, which sounds stupid, I know. I know it sounds stupid, but that's one way that I always get a laugh, a smile. Everyone understands it as soon as they hear it. They know to just like smile, you know, wedding, because I look like an idiot, and they think that's funny. But as soon as I show up to bride prep or groom prep, you know, I'm not rolling. I don't walk in with my camera. I set my gear down. I shake everyone's hands. I learn their names. I talk to them for a couple minutes. Take 5 minutes to like actually hang out before you whip out the camera and like start actually shooting and being like robot camera person. So make them feel comfortable and then shoot. So yeah, you guys are just awesome. You keep impressing me with your awesome questions and I love it. It makes this really easy. So yeah, if you have comments or questions for the next Q&A, let me know, let's chat. Leave them in the comment section of the YouTube video below. But until then, thank you for watching. See ya. I almost did a Ferris Bueller thing, but I'm not gonna do that to you. All right, I am shooting a Q&A 23 or 24. What's up, people? Shooting Q&A 23, I believe. What's up, people? Shooting Q&A 23. See that lav mic? Oh, look at that. That's a little camera.